Titanic submersible disappearance. Missing Titanic submersible. The health risks facing the crew. June 21, Reuters, around the world. The story of the missing Titanic submersible and its rescue operations race against time has been riveting onlookers. According to BBC, people have been glued to their television screens, fascinated by maritime experts detailing the hurdles for rescue efforts in a vast expanse of sea. They have been watching their phones, bracing for news alerts about the fate of a crew of seafaring explorers and billionaires who vanished this week after plunging into the ocean's depths to see the storied century-old wreck. A massive search and rescue effort is continuing in the North Atlantic after a submersible exploring the wreck of the Titanic went missing deep under the ocean on Sunday. There are 5 people on board. Researchers aboard the Polar Prince, its mothership on the surface, lost contact with the crew shortly after the Titan began its dive. There is limited oxygen on board, and it is estimated that supplies are set to run out by around 10:00 GMT 06:00 EDT on Thursday. Undersea noises have now been detected in the search area, but it is not known where they are coming from or what they mean. U.S., Canadian and French agencies are working together to locate the submersible, and the tour firm OceanGate says it is exploring all options to get it back safely. Here is what we know so far. OceanGate Expeditions charges guests $250. 195 pounds. $270 for a place on its 8-day expedition to see the wreck of the Titanic. The site is about 600 kilometers, 370 miles, off the coast of Canada's Newfoundland, and lies in 2 parts, with the bow and the stern separated by about 800 m, 600 feet. A huge debris field surrounds the broken vessel. A full dive to the wreck, including the descent and ascent, reportedly takes 8 hours, and each trip is meant to include a scientific objective, including studying the wreck's decay. The inaugural dive took place in 2021, according to the company's website. The Titan is extremely small and narrow, measuring just 670 centimeters x 280 centimeters x 250 centimeters, 22 foot x 9, 2 foot x 8, 3 feet, and can carry a crew of just 5 people, a pilot and 4 passengers, who have to sit on the floor and have limited room to move around. Aside from taking divers to the wreck of the Titanic, it's used for site survey and inspection, research and data collection, film and media production, and deep-sea testing of hardware and software. According to the company, the Titan is outfitted with state-of-the-art lighting and sonar navigation systems, plus internally and externally mounted 4K video and photographic equipment. The BBC's US partner CBS sent one of its reporters on a voyage with the same company last year to see the wreck of the Titanic. Stockton Rush then gave him a tour of the submersible, where he revealed the vessel only has one button and is run using a video game controller. The Polar Prince first arrived near the Titanic wreck on Sunday morning, and the Titan was launched at 08:00 local time. It was expected to resurface at 15:00. Contact was lost 1 hour and 45 minutes into its descent. At about 09:45. The Coast Guard said they were notified of the problem at about 17:45, 8 hours later. The agency's command center in Boston then began coordinating search efforts. The Titanic wreck site is approximately 600 kilometers, 370 miles, off the coast of Newfoundland. The 5 people on board are Hamish Harding, a 58-year-old British businessman and explorer; Shahzada Dawood, 48, also a British businessman, and his son Suleiman Dawood, 19. Paul Henry Nargeolet, a 77-year-old French explorer nicknamed Mr. Titanic; Stockton Rush, 61, is the chief executive of OceanGate, the firm behind the dive. The wreck of the Titanic sits 3,800 m, 12, 500 feet, beneath the surface of the Atlantic. If the submersible has gone down to the seabed and can't get back up under its own power, the options are very limited. We know there are very few vessels that can get that deep. And certainly not divers. The vehicles designed for Navy submarine rescues can't get anywhere near as deep as would be needed. According to OceanGate, the company that owns it, Titan is one of only 5 manned submersibles in the world capable of reaching the depth required. The U.S. Navy does have an ROV that can operate at that depth and used it to locate and recover a crashed fighter jet from a depth of 3,780 m, 12, 400 feet, in the South China Sea last year. In that case, the U.S. military used the ROV to attach rigging around the aircraft and connect it to a lifting hook that was lowered from a crane on the rescue vessel on the surface. One of the big problems is that rescuers do not know whether to look on the surface or the seabed. It is very unlikely to be in between. He's worked through a couple of scenarios. One is that it released a drop weight after an emergency, in order to bring it to the surface. If there was a power failure and/or communication failure, this might have happened.
It's got one button.
And the submersible would then be bobbing about on the surface waiting to be found. He said. Another possibility is that the hull was compromised, resulting in a leak. The Coast Guard adds that the search area has been expanded to an area approximately twice the size of the U.S. state of Connecticut, and a subsurface search area of around 2.5 miles, 4 kilometers, deep. Planes are continuing to search from the air. In case Titan has returned to the ocean's surface but somehow lost communications, a French vessel equipped with a deep-sea underwater robot should arrive in the area by Wednesday afternoon, local time. A Canadian search plane picked up underwater noises on Tuesday and Wednesday. Deep-sea experts say it is hard to determine what these noises might be without seeing the data. But it is possible they could be short, sharp, relatively high-frequency noises, made from within the vessel by hitting a hard object against the end of the sub. The U.S. Coast Guard says it does not know what the noises are at this point. It says the U.S. Navy is analyzing the data, but so far it remains inconclusive. The U.S. Coast Guard has sent ROVs, remotely operated vehicles, to search under the surface in the area where sounds have been detected. But so far, they have yielded negative results. It said.